Here now, former DNC board member and longtime Democratic strategist Mitch Ceasar and Aaron Del Mar, co-chairman for the Illinois Republican Party. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Let me start with you, Aaron. How damning is this situation in North Carolina? He denies that he ever made the comments, but does it hurt Trump politically in the presidential race?
I think so. I think this is going to be a challenging lift for the president, and not only for Lieutenant Governor Robinson, but all the other candidates below ballot that are going to be chasing very low voter intensity in North Carolina. They're going to be facing a lot of intensity from the opposition side, trying to make sure that they don't have the success that they're looking for in November.
Mitch, let me get your thoughts on this. We're already seeing the Harris campaign respond. What do you believe the political strategy will be to capitalize on this moment and critical North Carolina voters?
I think the Democratic Party is doing it right. I mean, Trump owns this guy's problem. They knew he had problems before. Trump endorsed him. That's why he won the primary. What's going to be really interesting is Trump has to go back to the state. Is he going to allow this guy to appear with him? Are you better off with him being off the ballot entirely? I think this totally works to the benefit of the Democratic ticket all the way down. As has been said, the Democratic gubernatorial candidate in two different polls, one he's up by 10, one he's up by 12, but it's clearly double digits. They have a problem with this guy. He's made comments about African Americans and slaves. He's made comment about the LGBT community specifically. He's made comments about Jews, ownership of slaves. It just goes on and on and on. This guy's a real bonus. If I was the DNC, not Harris, if I was a DNC or a separate PAC, I would be showing clips of Trump heaping praise on him. And that way we see if there's some reverse hit on the ballot where it affects stuff above.
Aaron, let's talk about the campaign trail and Trump specifically. Is he doing enough right now in his messaging on immigration, which most consider him stronger on, the economy, to reach out to moderate independent voters as he visits these swing states? I mean, North Carolina aside, Pennsylvania, he was in New York, he was in Michigan this week.
Yeah, I think he's trying to hit all of those battleground states. He's trying to get his economic message through, which is one of the highest things that he pulls on. I think that after the last debate, there's kind of been a reshuffling of some of the polling. I think that he feels that he's probably behind by 2 or 3 points, still within the margin of error, but he has a lot of work to do in these swing states and these must-win, especially in Pennsylvania. Now that North Carolina is having some challenges, I think you're going to see him spending more time there, and probably a little bit more in Michigan, and definitely Wisconsin. Wisconsin is somewhere that he has to win.
Mitch, Harris is in Michigan. She did this live streaming event with Oprah. One criticism is, touting the Hollywood elites is out of touch with everyday Americans. Biden was really good at talking and speaking and relating with middle-class Americans. Is Harris able to do that?
I think she is, because Oprah isn't viewed as a Hollywood elite. She's viewed as Oprah. She's really unique. She obviously brings out women, minorities, I think to some extent African-American men, and also older people, white, black, or brown, just because of who she is. It's an interesting analogy. Oprah was a groundbreaker in being, I think, the first black female billionaire media star. And of course, our nominee is on the precipice of being the first minority, African-American woman to be elected president. So it's an interesting analogy. And I do think that they did tackle some things. They asked her about the immigration. I do want to flip back a little bit to what was just commented on. The polls are tightening up on issues like the border and the economy, where Trump was way ahead on those issues. And now we're seeing polls where he's ahead, but by very small margins. Oprah's there for a female turnout. In swing states, Harris is up by 20 points among women. If that could be extended, and she is shrinking the gap with males of all types, I think that's a great recipe. I think this is a brilliant move, and the Republicans are, honestly.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.